Good morning everyone. In previous classes we learned nasogastric tube feeding and how to give the feeding to the unconscious patients and bedridden patients and post-operative patients, and after that gastrojejunostomy feeding, and it is an enteral nutrition. It is a liquid food preparation directly into the stomach or intestine via a tube. This is gastrojejunostomy feeding. And what is nasogastric tube insertion? Insertion is a method of introducing a tube through nose into stomach. By inserting a nasogastric tube, you are gaining access to the stomach and its contents. And this enables you to drain gastric contents to decompress the stomach. And after that, if any infection or if any dead particles, or if the patient unable to swallow and premature babies, and after certain surgeries of the mouth and throat, there must be any retain of food in the stomach that may cause any discomfort to the patient, we must prefer to the gastric lavage, or nasogastric tube is given through the tube which is inserted to the patient nose into stomach when patient is unable to take food orally. It is administration of fluid food by means of tube passed into the stomach. It is also called gastric lavage. What is meant by gastric lavage? Also commonly called stomach wash or gastric suction, is the process of cleaning out the contents of the stomach. It has been used for eliminating poisons from the stomach. If any poisons or if any dirt particles are there, or if any food retained in the stomach and it cause any irritating or discomfort to the patient, we have to prefer gastric lavage according to their physician order. And what is the main purpose of it? For urgent removal of ingested substance to decrease systemic absorption. If any systemic absorption, it may be delay. In that cases also we must urgent removal of ingested substance. And after that, to empty the stomach before endoscopic procedure and to diagnose gastric hemorrhage and to arrest hemorrhage. What are the main indications for this? With patient has ingested poison, if a person may ingested any poisonous substances like phenol, or if a person may undergone suicide attempts, like if any fertilizers and if any pesticides they may be ingested, in that cases also we must give gastric lavage. And collecting stomach acid for test, if the person may gone through the any diagnostic purposes for any gastritis like that, we must give for diagnostic purposes also collecting the stomach acid, we must give the gastric lavage. And relieving pressure in someone with a blockage in the intestine, if anyone have any blockages in the large intestine or small intestine, in that time also if relieving pressure, give this gastric lavage. And cleaning the stomach before and upper endoscopy in someone who has been vomiting blood. What are the main contraindications of this? Loss of airway protective reflexes, such as in a patient with a depressed state of consciousness, and ingestion of a corrosive substance such as a strong acid or alkali, ingestion of a hydrocarbon with high aspiration potential, and patients who are at risk of hemorrhage or gastrointestinal perforation, there may be. And what are the main techniques for this? Gastric lavage involves the passage of a tube via the mouth or nose down into the stomach, followed by sequential administration and removal of small volume of liquid. We have to remove the small volumes of liquid, and the placement of the tube in the stomach must be confirmed either by air insufflation while listening to the stomach by pH testing, and a small amount of aspirated stomach contents or X-ray. It may be the placement of the tube in the stomach must be confirmed either by air insufflation or listening to the stomach while listening to the stomach, or by testing a small amount of aspirated stomach contents, or X-ray also we must be confirmed while the tube is correctly placed in the stomach or not. Okay, and this gastric lavage involves the passage of a tube via the mouth or nose down into the stomach, and after that lavage is repeated until the returning fluid shows no further gastric contents. Okay, uh, how much time it should be given to the patient means the lavage is repeated until the returning fluid shows no further gastric contents. Okay, that means the fluid may be in clear. Okay, while the fluid in clear state, in that cases and in that time we have to stop to give that gastric lavage. If the patient is unconscious or cannot protect their airway, then the patient should be intubated before performing lavage. And what are the main complications of this? Main complications: aspiration pneumonia while taking the unwanted poison and drugs out of the stomach, and the substances might accidentally enter the respiratory canal into the lungs and cause aspirated pneumonia. And laryngospasm, uncontrolled and involuntary muscle contraction of the larynx cord. And hypoxia means lack of oxygen in the body tissues. And hypercapnia means oxygen levels decreases, the carbon dioxide levels may be in increase. So if carbon dioxide levels increases in the body, that condition is called hypercapnia. And hypoxia means rise of lack of oxygen levels in the body tissues. And after that, bradycardia means pulse is slow and lower than normal. SOB means shortness of breath. Patient might experience dyspnea due to a tube inserted through the oropharynx that can obstruct the patient airway, which cause low oxygen supply. And mechanical injury to the throat, esophagus and stomach. Okay, these are all about gastric lavage. What is gastric lavage? Gastric lavage or nasogastric tube feeding is given through the tube which is inserted through patient's nose into stomach when patient is unable to take food orally, and to provide adequate nutrition, large amounts of fluid, and its diagnosis purpose only also, and post-operative patients also to assess tolerance of food. And next, if any operative surgeries are there in that conditions also, and the patient unable to take any oral foods or unable to take food orally, in that patients also we must prefer nasogastric tube feeding. And what are the general instructions? Give mouthwash frequently to avoid complications of a neglected mouth, and maintain accurate intake and output chart. Measure and drain the feed to avoid blockage in the tube, and avoid introducing air into the stomach during each feed. Okay, avoid introducing air into the stomach during each feed, and pinch the tube before the fluid run into the stomach completely. And feeding may be given intervals 2 hours, 3 or 4 hours, and the amount is not exceeding 150 to 300 ml per feed. Okay, and observe for complications. If a person may get nauseated, vomiting, distensions and any diarrhea, aspiration pneumonia, asphyxia, fever, and water and electrolyte imbalances are there, we must be observed. And after that, what are the main advantages of tube feeding? An adequate amount of all types of nutrients including distasteful foods and medications can be supplied. And next one, large amounts of fluids can be given safely. The danger perioral feeding are avoided. Okay, and the stomach may be aspirated at any time desired. Overloading of the stomach can be prevented by a drip method. And what are all the principles involved in these gastric lavages? We must be tube feed is a process of giving liquid nutrients or medications to a tube into the stomach when the oral intake is inadequate or impossible. Okay, and we have to prepare the patient and the environment. And after that, what are the equipments needed for this gastric lavage? Macintosh, towel, 20 cc syringe, stethoscope, bowl with water, adhesive with scissors, feeds and water, and ounce glass. Already we know the procedure in nasogastric tubing, like that only. Nasogastric tube feeding, like that only. And here, after care, we must give okay, we do it. Okay, wash hands thoroughly and place towel around neck in such a way that patient's clothing and blood linen are protected. Okay, and after that, remove spigot, pinch tube to prevent air entry, and remove plunger from syringe and connect to tube. Okay, in syringe there may be plunger is there, that will be removed, and in that only we pour the contents of the to the tube, and keep syringe about 12 inches above patient's head. Okay, we must keep that syringe about 12 inches above patient's head, and start feed with small measured amount of water, and allow feed to follow slowly and steadily through tube in such a way that air does not enter tube, and do not force fluid, allow to flow by gravity. At the end of feed, flush tube by pouring small measured amount of water, remove syringe and replace spigot. Thank you.